Good morning, everyone. I'm Michelle, and welcome back to my channel. So for breakfast, sorry about that, I'm having a peach yuck yum bitty. That's the fruit I had today, and so I used it up. And now it's garden time. I have a lot of work to do. Plus, I am here in my garden, at my parents', because my dad is helping me build a pen for my ducks. So I have to make up a list, and then when I come in 2 days, I have to bring all the supplies to make my duck pen. I'm excited. I need to get my duck pen done, and yeah, it will be nice to have a place to put my ducks in when it gets cold. And you know, I don't necessarily want my ducks to be fast food for some critters either. So anyway, I will also make sure to show you what I got out of my garden, and hopefully, because I'm not rushed today, I'm going to do a garden tour. So let's get started with what I get out of my garden. Okay, I lied, I changed my mind. I'm actually going to give you a garden tour, and then when I'm done with my garden tour, I will come back and show you what I all pulled out of my garden. And let's just do it that way, because I will talk myself out of doing a garden tour because it's a lot of work and I'm getting tired and I'm ready to go home. It's after 1 and I was kind of thinking I'd be done by now. So all right, let's get with the garden tour first. Okay, I wore my battery down today, so I'm hooked up to my battery here. All right, you can see these 3 rows of potatoes. They are all dug up. Each row I got a red basket out of it, which I think is pretty good considering the fact that I used all sprouted potatoes, no seed potatoes. And I think I got maybe a dozen green potatoes. So what I did is I replanted the green potatoes in here. And yes, I know I have more than a dozen here, but it's because I grew some potatoes that I had dug before, and there were a lot of greens one of those because I didn't mulch or hill them. So these ones, I just replanted them. Even though it's later in the year, it's fine, because if I don't get them now, or if we don't have a longer fall, which they're predicting, I will get them in the spring for next year. So they're just ready to go, and they're all mulched, so they're good to go for the year. You can see, you have to see my zinnias. Aren't these pretty? I want to do this every year. I want zinnias. I love them. Zinnias and cosmos are my favorite. But look at that. Are they pretty? I planted them on the ends of a lot of these. I didn't plant them in the ends of a couple, but that was because I didn't have enough flowers. But I'm so excited. They look so pretty. All right. There's one tomatillo in the middle of my potato patch. You'll have to excuse my potato patch there. I think my dog did this. Sometimes she's useful, and sometimes she's not. Not sure why she would do that. She doesn't like potatoes. All right, this is my first row. I did a bunch of weeding, and I don't know if you can tell, I planted some strawberries in here because after this year, excuse my seeds thing here. These are my seeds for my leeks. I grew a couple of leeks this year, but not many. Next year I hope to grow a bunch more. I'm just gonna use the seeds from here, I hope. Anyway, so when I have areas, I will pull them out and I will plant the strawberries. And this is the kohlrabis I grew in my milk jugs, and I planted these, like, I don't know, it was May sometime, and I'm still pulling them out of here. I'm very pleased with that. I can't say enough about it. All right, I have one lone tomato down there. I don't exactly understand why it's there, but I'm sure I planted it there. I have one strawberry plant in here. It looks doing terrible, but I'm watering it and hoping it'll survive. Kale. I have 2 different kinds of kale in here. And then tomatillos down here, some more strawberries because I cleaned the weeds out. This area has some strawberries in it as well. You can see, like, right over there. And that has a tomatillo. I think there's some spinach right here, and I have some seed over there. I was gonna plant it today and I totally forgot. Anyway, these are some carrots. I've been picking these off. I've been picking these beets, and I planted a big thing of tomatoes over there. These beans, you know what? I didn't pick those. I have to pick these before I leave. I forgot. But there's green, and then there's yellow on that side. This is what I did at the beginning of the year. Like, this was the first row of peas. And then these are my carrots that I planted. Let's see. I think you can see them in there. I'm just gonna leave them. There's no reason to pull them. Put some more strawberries in there. Over here, I'm starting to pull the onions out. These are my walking onions. And I'm like, oh, don't pull them. We won't have any. Oh, don't worry. I have planted plenty of those little heads in here. And I don't care how well I think I've pulled all of these onions out of here. It's going to explode next year anyway, and this way I get plenty of onions. People don't always think about the fact that you can use the bottoms of the walking onions. They're not huge. Maybe I can show you, but they're like this big. I don't know. They're pretty good sized onion, and why not use them? Anyway, I'm pulling them all out and making sweet onion jam just because I can, and I've never tried it. All right, you can see my sweet potatoes. I didn't get in here to weed. I intended to, but there's probably a dozen weeds in there to pull out. And what I really need to be doing is going in there and staking them up, but I don't want to do that. All right, my dill, and yeah, I think they probably don't need an explanation because dill is dill. But next to my dill, I don't know if you can tell, just a second here, I'm pulling a weed out that I found. I forgot to pull out. They are cilantro and some basil in here that I just picked in between my sweet potatoes. And I think I'll kind of stand back. There's another zinnia there, and there's one there, and there's one there. I think next year I'm gonna have to make sure I put the uprights in there. I did a lot of uprights for the dry beans and they didn't need it, and I felt stupid, so I will not do that next year. Okay, on this side, I'll go up here a little bit. I forgot to show you my onions. My onions did so well this year. And it's hard to tell because they've tipped over, and the sweet potatoes are kind of taking over, but they're there. Over here I have some peas, and I planted some flowers in there because the peas are slowly dying out. These green beans I picked today, and of course I still see some I missed. I tried picking these peas, but there weren't very many. This is my Swiss chard, and there's a kohlrabi and some beets in this row. This is my turnip row. Every time I come, I probably pick some out. Another row of carrots. You can see a theme here. I love carrots. All right, these are chickpeas with peas in there. Not a whole lot, but they're in there. Another row of peas. These are black-eyed peas, and I've already picked some, and they're sitting in a string in my house. Some more flowers. Let's see, sunflowers, and these are my favorite flowers. The I can never think of the name, balsam, and I have a bunch of them in here, and I'm so excited. And there's some more zinnias in here, so I'm happy about that. And there's some more zinnias. These are the Mexican sunflower. They're gonna be beautiful when they finally bloom. And then here's some more. I have a couple of these. Yes, I know you can eat this weed. I have it in plenty. I just don't want it right here. So anyway, some more sunflowers. Those are the ones I planted today that I found that I hadn't planted yet. Some beans, and I think there's some spinach or something in here because I found some today. And I'm like, wait, don't remember planting it there. It's right there. I think there's some lettuce in here too. And then on this side, I have peas that need to be weeded very badly. And then there's beets and carrots up there. And then there's beets and carrots down there with, I think these are turnips. And carrots, yep. I don't remember, my son planted them for me. Some more flowers, look at this. They're almost to the point where I'm gonna get flowers. I think these are the red ones. Some more sunflowers. Oh look, here's one. This is the little tiny one. It's so close. Maybe next time I come. Oh, here's another. Look at that. Woo-hoo. I'm so excited. This could be my favorite row. I was like, oh, I don't know if I should plant, you know, flowers. And then it's like, duh, why don't I plant flowers? But look. Oh no, here's another one. Cool. All right, this is my second batch of corn. And I have some squash in there. Right there. And just starting to tassel. So there's another one, look, it's there. Cool. And then over on this side I have another row of corn. This row of beans, but it's not ready yet. And on the end here I have some, I don't know what you call it, it's like a zucchini that is a squash if you leave it. It's a pretty long, big thing. I wanted to try it. My corn, I actually probably could pick some today, but I'm gonna wait till I come back in 2 days. There's bean plants in there. My mom's been picking those, I haven't. So I picked 4 heads of broccoli already. So we're good there. You can see I planted another row, or I planted the rest of the peppers. There's 3 rows of peppers and my tomatillos there. I've gotten a pretty good amount of tomatillos. Probably like a gallon so far. And then these are the tomato plants. This is what happens when you tie them up late. It's stupid, don't do it. They're fine if I left them alone, but I wanted to tie them up and this is what happened. They're fine, they're just mad. And then there's 2 tomatoes for my friend and then a bunch of celery. I just clip some every time I come. These are several rows of peppers, and then if you can tell over there, those are eggplant. Those are my cauliflower. I haven't looked at it yet. I'll have to look at it today. But this is marigolds, and they're huge. Happy to see that. This peas, I picked some today, but there wasn't a whole lot here. Another row of carrots. And this is a row of potatoes and onions. I told my son to plant the onions in with the potatoes, but he planted them on top. I was like, okay. So that's what I got. And then if you look down at the end, there's some radishes in there. I didn't get them all out. But on this side, my son planted turnips and beets. So I've been taking beets out of there. And then here, these onions didn't do as well. I'm not sure if it was just weeds or just, it's been really dry. All right, some more. I pulled these potatoes and just planted some green ones on the end here. These were from a long time ago, they've been. And then I have some dill and more potatoes on this side. See a weed I missed. My garden isn't weed free, but I get annoyed when there's a big, huge one. It's like, seriously, how did I not see that one? So I'm getting the big one. There we go. All right. I spent a good portion of today weeding, but I'm happy with it. It doesn't look bad. Are there weeds? Oh yes, but it's okay. I have more plant than weed, so these beans need some weeding, and they're not quite ready. They're close though, so I'll probably have to weed them. That's the other thing I do, is when I start to get things from it, I start weeding it. So this is my cauliflower. I was gonna check to see if I had any heads yet. They're starting to form heads, but I don't see any yet. This is my eggplant. I've gotten about 4 so far, so my favorite flowers again. Marigolds. And I have some chives, some oregano, and some parsley. And then over here I have some potatoes. I dug a couple potatoes, but they aren't quite ready, so you can see there's a couple there that are dying off that I will have to come dig. I'm doing one every time I come. I do one, so I'll eventually get there. So I'm gonna try to stay in the ground a little bit longer. So over here I planted some lettuce and stuff like almost 2 weeks ago, and it did not come up. So if it is not up by next week, I will replant. These are my beans. My mom and I and my sons have been picking. We've been picking. This is the blueberry patch. More beans. I think all of the pole beans go to this row. And then I have peppers And then this row here is a lot of my melons and squash that haven't done anything yet. Well, other than this one. And then I have these beans are dry beans and they desperately need picking. I just haven't done it yet. So do these. These are all dry beans that I thought needed to crawl up and don't. So there's some more peppers. And then over here, I think this is Stellatica squash. That's what it looks like to me. And it's close to getting done there, and it's like sprawled all over. Oh look, there's some more squash. Not sure which kind that one is, but I'm just excited because mine didn't do so well this year. So it's nice to see some working for me. This is my one lone cherry tomato. Some more peppers. I think this section right here is gonna have to be my next weeding session, which makes sense because I weeded this one up to right here because these dry beans aren't ready, but I weeded this section up here because I picked the beans. So I need to do like 1, 2, 3 rows here plus this, and that's pretty much gonna be it. But I am going to sit here and pick my cherry tomatoes, and then I'll finish the garden tour. All right, I had to show you this. This is my artichoke. I'll probably pick it next time I come. And I realize it's buried in here. My friend gave me a cherry tomato with my artichoke when she gave me the plant. Here's my other one. And that's what it did. It exploded. So, but under this artichoke under this thing is, look, I have a pumpkin. So, there's hope. So I'm gonna get out of here and hopefully, hold on. Ugh. I see a pepper. I thought I saw a pepper. I did not see a pepper apparently. No, there it is. One pepper. All right, I'm gonna go out here, go this way, and show you the rest. Look up. So as you can see, this part's weeded because I did this part. These are potatoes. There's 2 rows of potatoes, one there, one there, and they need to, you can tell, that's my next patch that I'm pulling. These are russet potatoes. Maybe I should weed these and then come back. The problem is when I dug them up 2 weeks ago, they weren't ready. I weeded, can't tell, they weeded there. They weren't ready yet. So I may just leave these for last, even though I planted them at first. Because I don't want little russets, because that's all I found. So maybe I'll weed it and see. When I weed, I always manage to grab a couple up. But this is the last of my pole beans. This spacing, even though I kind of grumped at it originally, my son did pick a good width. All right, you'll see my Brussels sprouts. This one has a bunch on. Look at there. So I will have a bunch if they ever get it together. And then over here, you'll see my cabbages. Most of these already picked, but look what they do. Somebody was just amazed it does it. Mine does this every year, but look. One cabbage and now I'm getting like 5 or 6 little ones. That one's doing it. That one's doing it. That one's doing it. That one's doing it. Unless I murder them, which I think I did with one of those over there, they all come back and I don't need to plant another row of cabbage, which is kind of nice. So that's my garden tour for this week. All right, I'm gonna just show you a few things I have. I already took some in my house and I forgot. So these are my walking onions, and let's see if I can find them. Let's see, I shook out the dirt. That's typically the size that they are, so I'm gonna cut them up. I like to make onion jam. I don't know if I'll get to it, but that's the goal anyway. And then this is different things I'm growing for seed. This is arugula. I'm actually gonna leave this in my car. And then these are 3 different kinds of radishes. And some of them are dry, like some are dry right here. Oh, so that's the seed inside. And I'm going to collect the seeds, see right there. And plant it again this year to see if it'll work. So far, everything I have tried has worked, albeit not extremely well. Like the seeds didn't germinate as well as I'd hoped, but hey. All right, So now I'll show you the rest of what I have. All right, so I picked that of tomatoes. These are the cherry tomatoes that I picked. These are the beans I picked, and a couple of peppers. Some of these longer beans. This is the thing of potatoes. And then these are the last of the potatoes I picked. My surprise is I can see a couple of green ones in there that I'll go replant, but these are the ones that I pulled up accidentally. I think it was like 3 or 4 plants, so that's about what I'm getting when I'm digging potatoes this year. So it's sushi tonight for supper, and I'm excited because I'm going to make myself try the green wasabi sauce, so yay!